Well, hello everybody. Welcome to No Nonsense Whiskey. My name is VimPF. Hopefully, I'm coming through to you loud and clear. If someone could let me know, that'd be great. I know that's not always a great way to start off a stream, but this is my first time using my new setup to live stream, and that was my first time using that kind of funky little intro video. The camera's down here. It used to be up here, so now I'm going to be looking up here all the time to see everything. People say sounds fine. Perfect. Let's just move straight on from the tech and say hello to people that are in the chat, shall we? Let me move on to the comments and get some highlighting on the go. Mark, he was here very early. I'm not even sure what time, but that was awesome of you to be here, dude. We've got Peter Wilcox in. Thank you very much for coming in. The Doc, McCallum Fine and Rare. Cheers for coming in, dude. I've only just noticed that your thing says 1926. Is that? Have you actually tried that? I would love to know if you've tried that. That would be amazing. Whiskey Shared is in, another whiskey channel. Make sure you go and check him out. Gus, my good friend Gus, good to see you in, dude. Oh, I'm so glad you guys are coming in. This is great. I don't do many lives, so it's really nice to see you guys coming in to check me out again. Sorry if you hear banging around as well. This microphone is really sensitive. I might turn it down. We'll see. Yeah, Gregor saying, Vin doing a live, no way. Yes, I am doing a live. I'm doing a live because my wife is away from town right now. So it seems like a good opportunity to do it. I will do more live streams when I can. I promise. I will do. Matthias is in. Cheers for coming in, my friend. Dom's Whiskey, he is in as well. Nice one. Zach. I would love to call Zach my good friend now because I think he is. Met each other in Austin and he is an absolute legend. Who else have we got here? Luna's in. Brilliant. Nice one. Thank you for coming in, Luna. Prestige Liquids is here. Sunday Evening Scotch is here. Oh, I like that little image. That's really nice. Terry is in. Thank you very much. A lot of you I've seen have commented on my video today as well, but I've only just released it, so I didn't get much chance to actually reply to anything, but I will do later. Mino's Multi-Mission is in. Now, Mino, I've seen him kind of rebrand himself to this multi-mission recently, which is awesome. Keep doing your thing, dude. Last Drop says, woo. Hopefully he'll keep it clean tonight. We'll see. Shirted on, please. Kato is in. I'm banging through this. Jimmy Jazz is in. Thank you very much for coming in, everybody. Steve A is here. DJ Beacon is here. Whoa, my God, this is huge. Unbelievable. I don't know what numbers I've got. I'll check in a minute. Andres here just for coming in. And, of course, Ear Whiskey. I was hoping you would comment because this guy has been an absolute legend this week. The Whiskey Tube community is getting huge, and there's loads of us doing loads of different things, and there's only so many days in the week, especially for the time zones we're in. So I've been planning this stream for about a couple of weeks now, but I didn't announce it. But then I saw that Ear Whiskey was going live today, and rather than just sort of conflict and just go live, whatever, I sent him a quick message to try and see what his plans were, and then we managed to work out this kind of accidental, bespoke whiskey evening because Roy is going live after me at 10 o'clock. Really good for me because I don't really like being live for longer than an hour anyway, so that's perfect to hand over. Ear Whiskey went on, he handed over to me. Absolutely brilliant. So thank you very much, Matt. You're an absolute legend. Bourbon and the Baby's in, another good whiskey channel. Go and check him out. Chris Malloy is here. Ard Baggy, I think I've seen his name somewhere. Yeah, there he is. Ard Baggy. Dwayne is in. Yes, Dwayne. And Alex, Theme Park Pics. That's my brother. So if you're on Instagram and you like roller coasters and such, go and check out Theme Park Pics with a Z. Very meta and now, but his pictures are good. His pictures are good. So go and check him out. I think I've missed a few people. Sorry if I've missed you. Greg is in. Yes. Rob Davey is in as well. George O'Brien, right? Okay, I'm going to stop because I'm going to keep reading people out. But if you make sure you at me, as always, they should highlight, and I will see your questions and such. Mino says I'm on 37 and counting. Thank you very much. Am I saying that right? Meno? I'm not sure. I haven't met you in real life, so when I do, I'll make sure I say your name properly. Anyway, so welcome to the stream. Now, I wanted to do this. This is not really a kind of formal kind of themed thing. It was just me trying to say hello to you guys and let you know what I've been up to for the last couple of months. I didn't plan to have 2 months off. I only planned to have a couple of weeks, but an event kept coming up or something else kept coming up. I was not going to decorate the room, and then I was going to decorate the room. And as you can see, it all just came together eventually, and I finally managed to put it all together. So I thought, if you don't mind the disorientation, that I might give you a quick tour of the room, but I'm going to have to grab my webcam and see how long the cable will go. So, and also, excuse the mess, because although I did promise it would be a bit tidier, it hasn't quite achieved that yet. So let me just grab you and come with me, my good friends. So over here, you will remember the shelf. Now, the shelf was in line with this wall before. Now it's at an angle, so it appears to be flush with the screen. That was the idea. I've got my map still up here. I've got my lovely canvas up here. I'm going to try and put more stuff up here. My little map over in the corner, and this is just kind of like the area that I film in. As you can see, it's a little bit messy. Got my ship still in there and editing stuff. Well, there you go. There's some kind of woo. Yeah, and that's kind of it. So I've got some drawers now. Oh, there's the mess. Look at all the mess. It's so terrible, isn't it? And some more drawers, which really help kind of streamline me a little bit. But as you can see, I'm not dealing with much of a room. Hopefully, I've just realised the sound must have gone really awful then. Sorry about that. That's very unprofessional. But let me get you back to some sort of semblance of an angle. How's that? There you go. I hope people don't get seasick too easy. Yes, indeed. I completely agree. I'm so sorry about that, but I thought you might want to see a quick little look. If you didn't, sorry about that. But yeah, hopefully you're enjoying the channel. I'm enjoying the feedback I'm getting from you guys. I've got some new graphics and things now, as you saw, which that little kind of... I've just realised there's a thing on the screen still. Sorry about that. This is... You can see I'm no professional. I'm no professional. But yeah, so I've managed to sort the room out. This is a new colour. Everything should be golden now in terms of this. I'm going to get my sound quality a bit better because I'm going to put some foam behind here. So if it's a bit echoey, sorry about that. But it's okay. It's okay. Now, the other things I wanted to talk about are what I was doing in those 2 months, other than sort of sorting this room out. You'd think it wouldn't take me that long, and it didn't. But it was mixing in with the day job, doing things at weekends with my family and things like that. So it was taking a little bit of time. But I also went on a couple of amazing adventures. Bang. I went on a couple of amazing adventures. One was to Austin, which was literally the trip of a lifetime. And I can't really wait to tell you about this anymore because I did do a wee video on it, but I didn't really do much recording. Let me have a quick sip of some water while we talk about it. So I went to Austin in October for the Bastards Ball. And if you haven't seen videos about that, go and check the videos out because the Whiskey Tribe, this is who invited me over, they did an excellent video on it. But also the guys like Stillet, Jesse at Stillet, he did a video on it. I've done my own little video. A few other people have done their videos about it. And I would definitely go and check those out because the Whiskey Tribe get a bit of a bad rap online because they keep saying they're a bit of a cult or whatever. And you know what? I wouldn't even care if they are because it was such an amazing experience. Meeting some patrons, in fact. I met a couple of patrons out there, which was freaking awesome to meet those guys. And I met like Zach, he's here as well. So I put him up on the thing again. I met Zach, and I don't think he knew who I was beforehand. I'd never met Zach before. We just got chatting, and now he's a patron of mine, which is just so amazing that people like you guys want to support us as creators. And even using the word creator, you know, I'm still just your guy sitting in his spare bedroom that I've converted into a bit of a study, and it's just snowballing, and I love it. I love every second of it, and having the break really did help. I'm trying to look at the camera as well as looking at the comments. So if I'm looking just slightly above, I apologise for the unprofessionality of it. Now, let's get a whiskey in the glass, shall we? Because I was drinking a little bit on Ear Whiskies show, but I'm feeling a little dry. So let's see what we've got over here. I've got some... Oh, they're all really high-strength stuff. They're all really high-strength. So I'm going to start with this. And we'll talk a little bit about it because we're on the subject. This I picked up in Austin, and this is the Eleanor, which is Whiskey Tribe's offering. Now, it's a sourced whiskey. It's an MGP whiskey, Indiana, but it's aged in Texas. So I don't know what deal they've got, but they must get it down in some kind of bulk. But they age it in whatever barrels they can be bothered to age it in, and they're trying different experiments out. This is the chapter 9.4 for those that are interested. But the reason why I got this out of anything else that I could in Texas was that it's only available at their distillery. They won't post it to you. You can't get it driven to the next town or whatever. You have to go and pick it up. You have to sign off on it. You can get somebody else to pick it up for you, but they won't deal with any of that. So I thought, why not get a little drop of this? So let's open this up. Well, it's already open, but you know what I mean. Bit disappointing on the pop, but that's what a synth cork will do, I guess. And let's drop this in here and have a little taste, shall we? As you can see, I've had a little taste already, and I've really enjoyed it. You know, it's a high strength. I was going to say a bourbon. Then it's definitely not a bourbon, but it's a bourbon style whiskey, 56.85%. Hard baggy. What does he say? Where's the comment? I've lost it. Now, see, I thought that they were going to start highlighting comments for us on the StreamYard, but it doesn't look like they are, which is a little frustrating. So if I miss stuff, I'm sorry. Anyway, Ard Baggy says, dude, liking the industrial look like BBC World Service. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the BBC World Service. Indeed. Well, I wanted to go for something light. You know, I could have gone something more wooden, more traditional, get a cask, do what everyone else is doing. But I wanted to go a little bit more bright and airy. And I am going to improve this more as I go along. I'm going to get sort of lights and things to make this look a little bit more Aquavitae-like, I guess. If you're going to copy somebody, you may as well copy the king, right? Let's have a little taste of this and see what we've got, shall we? Oh, it smells so good. It's like it's got a kind of weird, like vegetable note to it, fruity, kind of melony note to it, which is really nice. Let's try. Oh, what an ABV. It's got such high spice content as well. Answering a comment from Greg's Whiskey Guide, which actually I've seen this one, so I can put this on the screen. Hey, what's the Cotswolds you're drowning in? This is the Cotswolds peated cask. Now I'll pour this a bit later because I'm going to drink these two first. I thought I'd save the peated one till last, but I've actually just reviewed that today, and I've managed to put a video out about that, which is awesome. They're my local distillery. We'll talk about them in a little bit. Let's drop that off. So the other things I wanted to talk about are, while we were talking about kind of the whiskies and stuff, is just like the amazing community that we've got around here. And I'll talk a little bit about Patreon, I guess, but like not in a kind of, I don't want you guys to all suddenly drop everything and go and check out Patreon, but Patreon have really supported me throughout the last few years and in the last couple of months. And I don't do enough for them. So I've going to take the opportunity now to announce something quickly that my patrons will get. And again, I know that it kind of sounds a bit sycophantic that I might be pushing people to that, but this isn't a go and get it, because it's really only a very small gesture, but this is a little reward for those guys. Now, I've got this kind of new vibe of a coin, a new whiskey coin. You know, we all like that. And I make these at work. And this is a Perspex clear coin with No Nonsense whiskey etched into it, which I love. It's a bit rough around the edges, which I'm going to try and do something to sort out about. But like I said, I mean, these have no value. They're not like, they didn't cost me much to produce or get the materials for. Not very sustainable, unfortunately. We are talking about plastic, but it's no worse than the actual coins themselves. Woo! But they're going to be going out to everyone who has been a patron for at least a couple of months or something like that. Gregor says, wet sand those edges. I'm definitely going to do that, dude. I've got some silicone stuff downstairs that I'm going to sort out. But I've literally just put these together like a day or two ago. So I haven't had much chance to sort them out. I am going to be getting those out hopefully before Christmas. So if you are a patron of mine, I'm going to send a message on Patreon anyway. But if you are a patron of mine, make sure your address is up to date. And of course, if you do want to support anyone's channels, not just mine, Patreon is an excellent way to do it. We do love Patreon here in the creator world because it puts more of your donations straight into our, I don't want to say pockets, but it really is pockets. You know, I mean, all of my income, let's say, goes straight back into the channel. I purchase new things like new merchandise and new equipment and trips and things like that. So all good. Anyway, I also wanted to talk a little bit about some of the other merch that I've got coming out. I don't want this to be a sale. It's not a sales pitch at all, but I just wanted to show you anyway while I'm doing just a quick one. I've got a new batch of these lovely flasks coming out, and they are going to be a little bit more than they were last time because unfortunately the prices have gone up. But these come in a nice satin box with a little funnel, and you might even get a pin badge thrown in as well if you're quick. But they're going to be about £20 UK plus shipping. I've also got this cool little bag. I've got a funny story about this bag. I'll tell you in a minute. But this bag here, I use it to go to work with now. But you can fit 3 bottles in that. Promise you can, because look, if you that fits in there nicely. Yeah, Daniel Verma says this program was sponsored by. I know. I promise I'm going to stop talking about it soon. I'm just excited to show you guys. This one here says, "What are you working doing? Cool coins." I am definitely working on cool coins, and I am working on my second batch of coins, but it's going to be more like March next year, which is about when my current coins, which are these ones, which is about when these came out. I've still got a few of these left, but not many. They came out in about March, so I'm going to try and replicate that. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Paul Croft says 3 bottles, just enough. Like exactly that. The way I kind of would market it is that if you're going around to like a friend's house or whatever, and you want to take a couple of bottles, this is the bag for you. So yeah, I did promise a relatively funny story, and I will. It's maybe funny only to me. This bag here got me stopped at Heathrow Airport, which was a bit frustrating. But the reason why I got stopped by them is because the security team in Heathrow are given the exact same bag for their staff. And apart from my logo, of course, it just says Heathrow on it, but the exact same bag, the same size, the same make, the same colors, the same white strip on here. And it's, it got me stopped because they thought I was nicking a bag. True story. But there you go. A funny little thing. So yeah, hopefully you guys are enjoying the relaunch a little bit. I'm not sure. It's one of those things. I'm a bit terrified of people's opinions, but I love it when you guys are honest to me. Dom's Whiskey has just said, love to have a bag with 3 times bottles to take to work, but not the best idea as a driving instructor. No, definitely not. But, you could stuck it in the boot, as long as they're sealed, nobody would mind. All good. I think there was another one as well. Whiskey Shared says the bag is an upgrade on the hip flask. For sure. You can carry a wee drop in the hip flask, or you can carry 3 whole bottles in the other one. Or just use it for whatever. I use it for like my daily carry. Literally, while we're being unprofessional about it, I'll show you. It's got my scarf in it. It's got my umbrella in it. I work for a university that's massive, so when I get on site, I need everything on me all the time because I need sunglasses and an umbrella just in case it goes. Mino's Whiskey. He said, "Where has it gone? Here it is." He says, "How fast did you overwrite the Heathrow with the No Nonsense logo?" Well, it took me a little while to stitch it on, but I'm getting pretty good at the kind of cross stitch vibes now. So I was managed to quickly in the background. Ben Marnock says, "Carry my number 12 every day to work. I'll show the no side to my bosses all the time." He's talking about the coin. Now, this is Ben Marnock, who's now, I would say, a good friend of mine as well. He has not quite the lowest coin in circulation right now. He has the number 12 coin. The number 11 went to a winner of the last drop, who I think is around. And I actually can't remember the name of the guy I sent it to in the end, but I've got a record of it somewhere. But it's only number 11's out there at the moment. So 1 to 10 are still being held back. I've got some plans that are going to be a little bit similar to what the STDs did, but we will see in the future. I'm not ready to talk about that yet. It's going to be a good few years before they surface, I think. But I will probably do something with charity, I think, for that, because why not? That's what it's all about, giving back. The Last Drop and Whiskey Shared have both said David Evans. Good memory. Of course it was David Evans. If he's on, I don't think he is, but absolutely a joy to send him one of those. Clicked on the wrong one there. Yeah. Max says the STDs. The irony is not lost on them. Let me tell you, they love it. They absolutely love it. So do keep telling that to them, because I say the irony is definitely not lost. Zach, he said something to me. Do you know what? I have to say, StreamYard is a great kind of concept, but it's really hard to find comments on here, because I've got the live chat next to me as well. But never mind, I don't want to complain about it too much, because it's just a bit of a shame. I will always feed back to them about it. Let's have another sip of the Eleanor, and then we'll talk about our next whiskey, shall we? Oh, I love that stuff. Now it's quite old and raspy. I'm not sure how much they've aged it for either. I would wager not a lot, maybe less than a year, but or maybe just over, maybe a year and a half, something like that. But yeah, about that. Questions. Terry Stevens says, how do I get a coin? Bless your heart for asking. You can check out my website. There's a link on there. But if you want to, you can just email me, which is nnwhiskey@gmail.com. And I will send you a link which will tell you what numbers are still available and how you can get on them. I would, at the risk of being pushy and unprofessional, I would say get on them fairly quickly, because they are running out. If you want some of the batch ones, and then once they're gone, they're gone. I'll only have the ones I have for myself, and then they'll be gone. They'll be a, dare I say, a limited edition. Maybe they will be. Who knows? But yeah, that's how to get hold of them. Or you can check out nononsensewhiskey.com, and you can find a post there that tells you exactly how to get them. Peter Wilcox as well has just done a comment. That's the same comment. Peter Wilcox says, "How much are your coins, please, buddy?" They are £10 plus delivery. It's a lot. I'll admit it's a lot. It's the same as everyone else is charging. Unfortunately, the UK guys, me and Roy and a few others, we had to double ship those. So there was a bit of an additional cost. They charged $10 for them in the US. But the point of it, unfortunately, is to support the channel. So we don't take much profit at all from it. And the ones that we do go straight back into the channel. So hopefully you guys don't mind. But absolute sales pitch on this kid. Sorry about that, guy. It is definitely a sales pitch. I don't mean it to be. Just excited about all of the merch. And I will stop talking about it pretty soon. I will promise. Now, there was another question here that really did get me. Here you go, Gregor. Whiskey of the Year contenders. Now, I wanted to talk to you guys about this. It's actually on my list. So thank you very much, Gregor. You're a mind reader. Now, every year so far, I have done a Twitter poll. And last year, it received mixed kind of reviews because of the way I chose to randomize it. Now, what I did was I pulled together every review that I did for the year, regardless of how exceptional or how cheap or how expensive it was. And I randomized them on a spreadsheet, and I put them in groups of 4, like it was almost like a World Cup almost. And then I put them out on Twitter as a Twitter poll, and you had to just pick your favorite one, and then that went into the next round and next round. But what that meant was that things like Elijah Craig Barrel Proof and Johnny Walker White Walker were in the same category, that sort of thing. So it got some mixed reviews, because what people wanted to see was like bourbons in the same category and scotches in the same category. So really, I want to know what you guys think, because I have to admit, this year I haven't really thought much about it, and I wasn't going to do it. What I might do is just put a video out of my favorite whiskies of the year and let you guys comment underneath it. But really, I want to know what you think about that. So let me know in the comments below, or if you want to keep it personal, then you can email me always. I'll put that back up again. This is a public email address. You can email me whenever you want. nnwhiskey@gmail.com. I don't promise I'll get back to you straight away, but I will reply to you eventually if I can. But yeah, feel free to drop me a line on anything you want in there, especially feedback on a channel, and of course on what I just spoke about then, about the whiskey of the year. For me, I can almost promise you it's going to be a high impact, high ABV contender. So that's my thing. That's my vibe. That's what I like. So it's going to be that. It's going to be that. I don't think it's going to be anything too outrageous this year. Too outrageous. Zach has just put a tasting note up on. No, he didn't. Next one on. That one. There you go. Here's the notes for Eleanor, the 9th chapter of the story. Eleanor and Valentine Vice, dated 1872. Details, cask type. Distilled from a bourbon mash. There you go. It's MGP, of course, and that's a lot of information. There you go. How did you even get that information, dude? That's awesome. Right, this is a good question. I like this. Hey, Vin, what whiskey would you never have again? Now, I have several of these whiskies, not because they're like terrible whiskies. I don't think they're particularly good whiskies, but the White Walker for sure was one that I'm very adamant that people should never have bought. I still have my bottle from last year. I can't bring myself to drink it. It really isn't good whiskey. And on the same vein, the Johnny Walker Red Label, the Jim Beam White Label is pretty gross. I don't like that too much. I know a lot of people love it, and I'm very cagey about sharing those sorts of opinions, because what I'm not saying is that everybody should hate it. It definitely not. If you love it, then crack on. If you like it in with Coke and whatever, then whatever. That's you. That's what you do. I would never tell you to not drink those whiskies. But I do have a playlist that I've called Terrible Whiskey, as a bit of a joke, but also not, that you can check out on my YouTube Spaces. I don't have a link here, but if I remember, I'll put one in the description later. And there's only 4 or 5 whiskies on there, one of which was a bad whiskey, I think. But I don't know. There's only a handful. Dom's whiskey. What was that bloody awful one from a few years ago? 10-year something. It was the 10-year Fujikai, which was pretty damn awful. So probably one of the worst, I think, whiskies I've ever tried. And Macallan Fine and Rare, the doc, he knows about that. I've given a sample of that to the boys in the Whiskey Tribe, but I don't know if they will ever open those or try it. So who knows? Just a quick one to say, Spirits People has just popped in to say, hey, he is an absolute dude, and he's just starting on YouTube fully. So crack on and go and subscribe to that guy's channel, because he's going to be big. I think he spends a little bit too much money on merch, sending it out for free, but it's all good. It's all good. Welsh Toro is saying that Devil's Cut is the worst swill he's ever had. I don't remember it being that bad, but it's been a few years since I've tried it, so I will definitely get that for the channel if I can be bothered to spend the money on it. Stewie Baby says, if you were trapped on a desert island, which 3 whiskies would you wish were in that wicked bag? I like that you like the bag. Thank you very much. I don't know. I have to say, yeah. Because I don't tend to buy whiskies over and over and over again because of the channel, having the same one is a bit odd. So off the top of my head, I would say we've just been talking about this on the last video I just did, which is the Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. I think that might have to be one, because that is absolutely astounding. I think we would have to have a nice, easy sipper one. So I don't know, maybe some kind of well-aged Irish or something like that, just to keep things going. And then I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe some kind of rum finish, something, just to keep the kind of desert island thing going. But I have to admit, I'm not really that fussy. There's a lot of whiskies out there that I love. There's a lot of whiskies that I just merely like. But I always say, when people ask me what my favorite whiskey is, I say whatever's in my glass right now. So this happens to be the Eleanor. Still, I haven't moved on yet. So this one right now is my favorite whiskey. It's pretty damn good. Now, unless the whiskey in my glass happens to be Pants, in which case it isn't my favorite one anymore. But you can't hold me to that. As Roy says, disclaimer, we are more than capable of changing our minds regularly. So don't hold us to anything too bad. Now, I want to try and make sure I don't miss some stuff. So sorry if I do. Whiskey Shared says, you need to be honest, and taste is subjective. We can't all like the same things. Couldn't agree more, my friend. I try to keep things honest here. You know, I cover all kinds of stuff. Some people love it, some people don't love it, but I will always be honest, no matter where I got the liquid from. The opposite, your best bang for buck, say under 50 quid. Oh, that's a tough one. I would say under 50 quid. Damn. probably the Ardbeg 10 or something like that, being really lazy. I love that thing, and it's just a shy under 50 quid. There are a lot of whiskies you can get for under 50 quid. I try not to spend too much more than that, to be honest. But yeah, under 50 quid is the way to go. There was some more stuff going on. I've definitely missed things. I'm going to have a word with these Streamlard guys because they have not done what I thought they were going to do. There you go. Cult of the Red Barrel says, whiskey reviewer is not fussy. Thanks for watching. See you next time. This guy's my friend, by the way, so don't give him any grief. Actually, something he hasn't noticed yet, but I'm not going to tell him what on the normal videos. He's commented, so I know he's seen them, but he hasn't noticed something, and I'm sure he will, and I'll get an earful for it when he does notice it. No spoilers here. He's given us a winky face. There he goes. He'll watch. He'll watch. We support each other. That's what friends do. I'm missing stuff. I'm sure I'm missing stuff. So sorry. Ear Whiskey says Lagavulin 8. Of course. Of course. Ben Marnett says, at No Nonsense Whiskey and at our baggy, hey Vin, what about our friend Fred Lang buying a distillery? Well, I mean, I still haven't looked into it much, and I've seen that they've bought a distillery. Don't know much about the distillery itself. Haven't tried anything from it, but it's amazing, really, that a company like them can now go and buy a distillery and start producing their own stuff. The only thing I'd be wary of, and I'll be honest about this, I mean, you guys know me. I'm a big fan of Douglas Lang. I work with them sometimes when I can. I love what they put out, and that's because somebody else makes it, and then they pick the best of the best of the best, and they put it out. And you don't have to like it; you just have to understand what you're drinking and know what your palate is capable of, maybe, and what you prefer, and then you'll be fine. It's just like any kind of independent single cask company, really like all of their stuff. I would say if you really wanted me to gun to the head, I would say that Epicurean is my least favorite of everything they've done. But it's still okay. I still quite like it. But having their distillery, I would be a bit wary to see what they would put out, if they're going to buy any old stock with that. Are they starting from next to nothing or whatever? I don't know. Like I said, I really do have to look into it. So it's one of those things. I'll keep a good eye on it, and if they end up putting crap out, I will tell you that they've put crap out, no matter what I have spoken to them about. McCallum Fryer says, I will meet Fred Lang next week on Friday. Will be fun. Fred Lang is an absolute gentleman, just like you would expect. Eccentric kind of business owner, although he's passed a lot of it over to his daughter. But he was kind enough to put a tasting together for me and a couple of patrons, which was an exceptional experience, and he did it on a Sunday as well, and all of the guys who went with me were super happy about it. A couple of them were in the chat today, and it was such a good thing. So make sure you say hello to him from me. He probably won't even remember me. I'm probably so below his radar, it's unreal. But if you can say hello to him for me, that would be lovely. I wanted to read out another question, and it's gone. It keeps jumping. The old chatty, but anyway, we'll say Ben Marnick's going to say. Fred is a top bloke. Amazing Sunday morning. It really was, my friend. It really was. Right. Let's talk about the next whiskey I've got. It is this, the Old Forester 1920 Prohibition style. Going heavy on the American stuff here, but no Scotch on today's show. I've got an English whiskey coming up. Somebody asked me about English whiskey soon, but I will. I'll talk about that in a minute. This, yes, definitely. Douglas Lang just released a 33-year-old version of the Big Pete. Yes, they did. They've been emailing me about it, but I haven't yet managed to pick up some. But I will if I can. So this, I picked this up in America as well. The reason why I picked it up is because the guys in the British Bourbon Society, who are on Facebook, if you're on Facebook and you're into bourbons and you're in England or whatever, Britain, you don't have to be. But it probably would help because that's where all the events are. They suggested I get this out of everything else that I could get because we can't get this over here. So let me pour this. Hopefully we'll get a good pop. Yes! Because this thing is a monster. 750 millilitres and it's 57.5%. Yes. Steve A is in. Yes. This guy is absolute legend. Met him in Austin, and we had a great few nights chatting away. So really good to see you in here, my friend. And also the One Glass Man, nice catching you live. Regards from Miami. This guy, again, a complete legend. Met him in Glasgow, and he flew all over from Miami just for Roy's little gathering in Glasgow, which is incredible. But yeah, go and check him out on Instagram. He's a dude. And Steve A says, I'm a legend now. Damn. Yes, you are a legend, my friend. Ask anybody. Ask anybody. Yeah, people are saying about the high ABV. Yeah, Greg saying high ABV. Luna saying high proof stuff. Yes, this is my go-to, man. The go-to high ABV stuff. Oh my days. I mean, if you like bourbon in any way, shape, or form, you're gonna love this. But if you're not into your bourbons, this might be a bit much for your nose because it's big, it's bold, it's horrendous. I haven't reviewed this yet, but I'm going to. Questions. I've got a Deanston tasting tomorrow. Are there any Deanstons you recommend looking out for? Oh, so many. I mean, for me, I would. The special editions I don't really know anything about. I'll be honest. So I would be happy to bring home a 12 any day of the year. So I would say try the ones that you're going to go to, the Deanston tasting. Try which ones you like and buy whichever one you think is the best one out of all of them. Got to do it. Got to do it. Oh, my days. What a fabulous whiskey. Oh, here's a good question for you. Right, so I've got this Pop Shield. What do you think about this being in shot, by the way? I'm sure many of you don't care, but for my actual videos, it's a bit more out of shot and the sound is a bit off. So I thought for a live, I would try it down here. But can you hear me can you hear all that kind of like horse twishing and stuff going on? Let me know because I can change things for next time. Carl with the Red Barrel, he says he likes it, but you need to try this. I don't know if you've tried this, dude, but this is amazing. You will love this thing. I don't want to give you any tasting notes because it's very typical bourbon, but it's good. It's good. Steve A is giving me some feedback. He says, certainly doesn't bother me having it in shot. No nonsense whiskey cuts down on any swishing or anything, and the audio is really good. Thank you very much. It was a very expensive mic, although not the most expensive, but it was a worthy upgrade, let's say. And Cutler Barrel's asking, what was it again? It was this, my friend. The Old Forester. Let me get rid of your comment. The Old Forester 1920s Prohibition style. You can't get this in the UK unless you pay through the nose for it on secondary market. But I'll hold some back for you, my friend. And when we see each other next, not that we see each other much, which we should see each other more, but I will get some over to you because you've got to try it. You've got to try it. Dude, Captain 3D's in. Thank you very much. Bought the 1920 with me in the UK and left a few bottles behind. Excellent. Is this the one that you picked up in your big kind of spree, or did you just bring them back for friends? Because it's a super generous thing for you to do to bring those back over. Because we need people to mule stuff like this over for us. It's the unfortunate thing. The muling is real, my friends. It's the same thing. So when we were in Austin, going back a little bit, we did this amazing experience with Iron Root, which they took us to a restaurant, bless them, and they let us do a barrel pick. So we had 4 whiskies to try from, all blind, and then the group of whiskey YouTubers, we picked it and settled down on one. I'm not even sure if it's one of the ones that I managed to choose, but it was still amazing no matter what. And soon, hopefully-ish, they're going to bottle that for us, and it's either going to have barrel picked by whiskey tubers, or it's going to have our names on it. I don't know exactly how they're going to do it yet, but I will bring that to you if I can. But they can't ship it to me from America, so I'm going to have to get a mule or someone to bring it over for me. I'm going to have to do something. I'm going to have to pay through the nose, but I will get it. I promise. Because that is so cool that they let us do that. A whiskey YouTuber barrel pick. And I don't think anyone's heard of that yet. I don't think anyone's announced it, but still an amazing experience to be able to do that. And very humbling as well, that to even be part of something like that. To even be invited across there was just insane. Just insane. Captain 3D's replied saying, bought 9 bottles of bourbon for the Scotland and England tour. What an absolute gent. Thank you very much for bringing those over. Even if I didn't get to try them, I'm glad that they're over here. Please, America, send us more bourbon. You get a lot of scotch, and it's only fair that you send us more of your good stuff. Only fair indeed. Welsh Toro saying there's a lot of bourbon on the European mainland that we don't get in the UK. Use some of the continental readers. It's true. It's true. I should. I'm a big fan of not trying too hard to get my bottles. There's plenty of bottles to get hold of at the moment. So when I start running dry on the standard stuff that I can get over here readily, then I'll probably start moving on to kind of sourcing whiskey. But I'm not really there yet. I've got more than enough to be getting on with for now. I've got at least a year's worth of content sitting on my shelves. So yeah, bear with me for any special stuff, but do let me know as well if anything pops up, because I'll be more than interested to see what is what. Whiskey Crusaders, it's just great to join one of these. Thank you very much for joining. I'm going to do more lives, I promise. It's just finding nice little slots to get those in. I struggle with my time schedule. I'm a very lazy man. Roy will tell you that I travel like a tree. It's one of his favorite things to say. And I say that because he only said it once, and I just heard it and thought it was hilarious. And it's true. I'm a very homely man. Getting me out of home is a struggle, but once I'm out, I am out. So more reasons to leave the house would be most welcome. Malt Review is in. Thank you very much for coming in, my friend. Is it Jason on the line? I probably imagine it is, but thank you very much for joining, and an absolute pleasure to meet you in Glasgow, of course, and to have you on a live. I was going to say recently. It was recently in terms of number of lives, but not in terms of months. And he's got loads of obscure bourbons. I'm sure you have. I bet you get kind of whiskey from all over the place, which is awesome. I hope to emulate you guys one day in that regard. Lots of people saying hello to each other, but also Captain 3D makes a good point with saying thanks, but might be different now with the 25% tariff, which is true. But having said that, when I was in Texas, we did speak to a couple of kind of not office guys, the liquor store guys, and they were saying that they've gone ahead and bought like 2 years worth of stock to try and absorb that. I don't know if that's going to be worldwide, certainly in Texas, because they had some massive stores over there, bigger than I've ever seen, and it was just incredible to see the amount of selection that you guys get in what I would typically call just a supermarket vibe. But yeah, awesome it was, and hopefully the 25% won't hit you too bad, but it's gonna, and hopefully we all sort our politics out soon, and we can all just get along and start drinking whiskey cheaper. Wouldn't that be lovely? I think it would be lovely. Give me a thumbs up if you agree with that. Cheeky way of getting some thumbs up. But thank you very much. Everyone's saying hello to Whiskey Crusaders. Awesome. I love having you guys in and saying hello to each other. This has been freaking awesome. I can't believe you guys are still watching me. Let's have a look at numbers. 61. Ah, you guys are beautiful. Amazing. Massive Scott is in. Thank you very much for joining me. I know a lot of you US guys are watching earlier on in the afternoon, but let me know what you're drinking if you're in the UK, or I mean, even if you're over there, sure, if you're doing some afternoon drinking. Vicky, you did do a comment earlier and I missed it. Sorry about that, Vicky. I'm struggling to scroll up with this, but she says, have you tried Koval? Yes, I did many moons ago. I tried them before I started the channel, and I was over in Chicago. I didn't go to the distillery, but unfortunately, because I was there for a wedding. But I would love to go over there again and check them out properly, because I haven't tried them in a while, but I remember it being good. Definitely. Right, I can see I'm running out of time, so I'm going to talk about the last whiskey I've got. But before, Minno's got to run. Been under the weather. Oh, bless you. Well, go and rest up, dude. It's a shame to be ill. Everyone's been ill in the UK right now, so I've managed to avoid it. But I put that down to the excessive amounts of ethanol that I consume. Not excessive. You don't have to worry about my health, but you know what I mean. More than the average person, let's say. Right, let's talk about the last one. Now, this is Cotswolds. Now, I know I'm doing a live stream today, and I've released a video today, which is annoying. I know. Sorry about that. But this is one of the English distilleries. It's the nearest one to me. I try not to fanboy about them too much, but They are my local distillery, about 45-minute drive away from me, and I would be invested in them. So I bought a bottle. It was only 50 quid. I bought a bottle before they even broke ground, 3 years ahead of time, and I wasn't sure what was going to happen. We tried their whiskey for the first time a couple of years ago when they finally released their 3-year one, and it was awesome. It was awesome. Loved it. It was young for sure, but for its age, and they were selling it for quite a high price, but it was worth it to kind of support a local business, let's say. Now, everything else they've put out since then has been astounding as well. So this is just the box. I've got the bottle downstairs. If you haven't seen my video of this is the founder's choice. Actually, something that they do that annoys me, when they post bottles to you, they collapse the boxes so they're flat, which is fine. But then this sticker goes over the edge here. But you'll notice it's exactly the same on this one. So, it's kind of like, I mean, I don't resell, but if I was going to, that's tarnished that a little bit, hasn't it? So they need to sort that out, I think. Maybe think about how they're doing their things. But yeah, I bought quite a few bottles of their stuff now, and it's pretty awesome. So let me just, I don't know if you can, I'll put this here. Is that still on screen? Just about. Oh wow. Okay, I've got a super chat. Thank you very much from Whiskey Quests. If you do come to Chicago, reach out for me for a dram. I certainly will, my friend. Thank you very much. Here he goes. Thank you very much for doing that. He's got an awesome channel. Go and check out my dude Whiskey Quests on YouTube and such, and you'll enjoy your time there, I am sure. I don't watch as much Whiskey Tube stuff as I used to, unfortunately. It's very busy, but I do try to catch people like Whiskey Quests when I can. There has been some questions about the Cotswolds, I think. Let me scroll down. I'm gonna skip straight to Mendip's question. Where do they source the peated cask from? Right, so back to this guy. 10 minutes, brilliant. Peated cask. So this is fully matured in, they say, ex-peated quarter casks, but this is definitely 100% ex-Laphroaig casks. So we're talking ex-bourbon, ex-Laphroaig quarter casks. Now we don't know if that's what would it be ex-bourbon? I don't know. Do you know what? I'll take it back. I don't know about that. All I know is it's ex-Laphroaig quarter casks. I don't know where they get them from in the first place. So I don't know if it's like first fill, second fill, whatever, but you can see natural color, probably about 3 years old, maybe a bit of 4-year-old in there. And that's where they get the peat from. So it's not like a peated malt. It's just a peated cask. So let's get a pop. Did I already do this? Yes. Ben Marnock's moving me on. Talk about the whiskey. Yes, I know. I do chat a lot of nonsense. Considering I call myself no nonsense, it's the biggest irony in Whiskey Tube, I think. So it's just an amazing nose on it. Vanilla-y, creamy. It's not. In my review, I said it was very understated, which is true. Whiskey Shed is saying I got to try it just before the release date. You can pick up their new make under the peat. You definitely can. And their new make is very floral, very malty. Excuse me. But yeah, like I said, the nose is one of those things where if I gave this to you, you'd be like, it smells all right. It doesn't smell mind-blowing, but it smells all right. Let's try on the palate and we'll see the difference. Oh, my God. Let me just show you something quickly. I don't know if this will... Let me get rid of this comment. Are we going to get a focus? No. Oh, it nearly did it then as well. Hang on, I'm going to try again. There it is. 59.3%. What a monster. What a monster. So I'm not sure if they water that down. I don't think they do. But it's got this beautiful, this high ABV flavor to it, this maltiness, this floralness, this fruitiness to it. The peatedness is only just really there. It's kind of smoky, light smoky. It's not like a medicinal vibe. It's not an ashy vibe. It's not like Laphroaig, really, even though it's Laphroaig X cask, which is strange. But it's their new makers really kind of like pounded it down. It's beautiful. Max, who's just said it could be Ardmore casks. They age legacy in quarter casks. It's true, they do. I guessed that it was Lefroy cask, and I've just had a confirmation today from an admin of one of their groups that I posted the video to that it is definitely Lefroy. But yeah, it could well have been Ardmore beforehand. I forget what did they say. I think they say on here it might be. I might have picked up that it was an Isla quarter cask from somewhere. I don't know. Brilliant. Right, I've got about 10 minutes left, guys. The reason why we've only got 10 minutes today is because we're doing a kind of a bit of a lead-on live stream, so it's a good opportunity to talk about the next one. Now, I'm sure every single one of you knows who Roy Aquavitae is, and hopefully you're all supporting him on Patreon, because if you're not, then you're going to miss out on the next live, because he does a Patreon lock-in. I don't think he really announces it. He just does it for the Patrons, and this is probably the first time it's been announced on a live that he's doing it. But if you are a patron of his, go over to his Patreon page, which is in the link below of this, and that will give you the link to the unlisted video. It wouldn't be fair of me to share the unlisted video because, of course, it's part of the whole Patreon vibe. I would like to say that Patreon is just an amazing experience. It's very weird to me to talk about something like Patreon because you guys are just literally giving us money, which when you say it like that is really weird. It still astounds me people want to do it, but you guys supporting the creators is just an absolutely immensely generous thing to do, especially in these days. If you're into Whiskey Tube or into YouTube at all, you'll know that they're changing their rules quite rapidly. We've just been hit by another one that's very scary, which is about content for children, which is you have to say this is not for children now. But if they perceive you to be making something that you've said is not for children, but that would draw children in, for instance, if I had some flashy lights and some cartoons and things like that, then I can be taken off and my channel can be not just demonetized, but taken off the air, which is a scary, scary thing. I wish it wasn't that way, but it is. So having something like Patreon around is amazing because they really do take very little extra. So talking of which, Captain 3D has just asked, what percentage does Patreon take as a cut? I'm not sure of the exact percentage. It changes for everybody depending on what you have, but it's roughly sort of 2 to 3, 4%, something like that. And then they take an admin fee when you charge out, because it all sits there until you choose to withdraw, let's say. But it isn't much. But for example, super chats. Talking of which, Zach has just dropped one in. Thank you very much. Congrats on a great stream. Can't wait until 2020 and we get to meet again. Fingers crossed you come back to Texas. I will definitely be there if I can, Zach. Unfortunately, YouTube take a extremely heavy cut of super chats. It's between sort of 30 and 40%, which is just what they do. You know, they take that from the monetization. It's their way of congratulating us for using their free platform. Welsh Torres says that's because it is astounding. We pay for your drink. It's kind of true. I mean, technically, I'm still, if we're talking costs, I'm under per video. So per month as well. Sorry. So my outgoings for what I attribute to the channel are way more than I ever would make from Patreon or YouTube. But that's not the reason why we do it. I do monetize the videos, but it's mainly just because it helps. It really does help because it's expensive to run a channel, and we don't want to go on about that sort of thing too much. But yeah, unfortunately, you might have to watch an advert or two every now and again. It's a shame. I wish it wasn't like it. But if I'm ever a millionaire, or if I ever end up making this full time or whatever, I'll turn the monetization off and some such. But thank you very much for your continued support, nonetheless. Yeah, Captain 3 here says, "Oh, it was Super Chat was the one I was thinking of." It certainly is, my friend. Super Chat is an amazing thing, and I love it. But I do wish that they wouldn't take the mix so much on that. And Whiskey Shared says, "You're worth every penny." Thank you very much, Toby. You're a sweetheart. You're a sweetheart. Eric Wake says, "The next step will be to go after adult subjects as alcoholic beverages. Ear Whiskey adds 18+ intro, which is smart. I had a comment in the description of my videos." Yeah. So to touch on that finally, I add a comment in my descriptions we should add something at the start of our videos that says enjoy responsibly. If you add 18 plus, you can add that to the intro, but if you add it as an adult content as a tick box in the background, you are no longer searchable fully, and you have to have an account to watch the video. So it limits your audience. It's a bit of a shame how it does it. But if you ever want to hear more about YouTube stuff, let me know, because I'll put more content about it out on my personal channel. Now, if you search for me, my full name is Vin Perry French, by the way, which is Perry-French. Most of you will know that. But I've got my own personal channel where I put out just rubbish content, that like little vlogs when I walk around and little videos when I go abroad. But it's, you know, it's just one of those things. So if you want to go and check that sort of thing out, then carry on. Welsh Story saying, I appreciate work creators do because I've been asked to do it and I can't be asked. So you deserve a quid or two. It is a lot of work, and more work than people think it is. I implore anybody who thinks it's easy to try, because it's not difficult to start, but it's difficult to get kind of stuff like this going on. I'm not even Mr. Tech. So to get like a nice shiny set on the go, to get a room that you can actually use, to get equipment, it's a lot. It's a lot. Whiskey Crusaders has just said it's a tremendous amount of work. The comment hasn't popped up on this side yet. Skippy Van Popper said, watching all of you is entertaining. It's a family on each side of the pond celebrating whiskey of all kinds. And I will say cheers to that, because that is so true. I'm actually going to wind it up now as well, because I don't want to just stop and then let it go live. I'll let everyone have a quick break to go to the toilet and whatever. But if you are interested in going to see Roy's live, then make sure you go and click the link in my description below. That's a direct link to his Patreon. If you're not a patron already, then why not sign up? It costs you as little as 60p or $1 a month. Do support your favorite creators. It really does make a difference. I'm not just saying that to me, but everybody, even the little guys. We all need the assistance if we can get it. None of us do it for the assistance, but it really does help, and we appreciate it, and we do our best to look after you guys in the ways of stuff like this. You know, again, one little last plug, because my patrons are going to get that. So if you're one of my patrons, you're an awesome. Ben Marnock says he needs to upgrade my patron. You don't, mate. You really don't. I'm just happy to have you there. But yeah, I'm going to close down now anyway. So cheers all. This is my final drink of the peated. Do go and check out my video of it today if you want to know more about it. You guys are awesome. Love you all immensely. Go and check out Roy's live, and I'm going to see you more on more videos and more live soon. Maybe some Patreon stuff. We'll see. But thank you very much. You guys are brilliant.